Minister, I'm aware that this isn't a Q&A, but would appreciate if you or Minister Feehan could respond to some of these issues in your summary. First of all, Ministers, like every other member in this chamber this morning, can I welcome this morning's announcement regarding vaccine portals being opened up for 18 to 34-year-olds. This is something I've called for repeatedly, and now it gives younger people an opportunity to register in advance of returning to college in September, and also those that are undertaking summer work, people who find themselves stuck in different scenarios in relation to the proposed certification for indoor dining, etc. I know I'd like to put on the record as well that I personally have issues with the idea of certifying for indoor dining or attending your local pub or whatever the case may be further into the summer. But I now feel that today's announcement regarding the potential for 18-year-olds and over to vaccinate, it now renders that issue of certification moot. I don't think that that's something that is practical. I don't think it's implementable in light of what is being announced this morning, which is very welcome in my opinion. Could I also speak to vaccine hesitancy and the need to try and vaccinate as many people as possible and as quickly as possible? Just to concur with Deputy Barry there, he mentioned that the ideas of rewarding young people to vaccinate, I don't think we need to kind of go down that road. I think that we have amongst the highest vaccination percentages in the EU, and I think that idea that was mooted this week, it's a non-runner. I don't believe there is a need for such inducements. We have amongst the highest rates, as I said, of vaccine uptake in the EU. And what I would like to ask is, at some stage, will we have figures or a breakdown of those who have refused the vaccine? And the reason I ask for this question once more is specifically to try and tackle resistance to vaccine uptake. Could I also ask the Minister what forward plans are being made for autumn-winter top-ups of the vaccine or for top-ups into the future? It seems to be widely recognised that this will be a necessity in the future, and I would like to know what our preparations for the same are. In addition to this, I would be interested to see or hear of what preparations are being undertaken by the State to combat future pandemics, and when will this assessment be ready or published? Also, Minister, many of us here would have been contacted over the last few weeks from people awaiting their second dose of AstraZeneca and waiting 9, 10 plus weeks for this. If the Minister could clarify in relation to NIAC's advice this week that the dose interval would be reduced to 4 weeks, would this lead to a further reduction in waiting times for those still awaiting their second dose? I would like to raise the issue of Primetime Investigates programme last night also. My constituency, Ballyno Nursing Home, is present in the north side of my constituency. Over a number of months I've been seeking answers to questions raised by grieving families. I now too will join calls for public investigation into this issue. This again was something we would have asked for while serving on the COVID committee last year. In light of what was reported last night, I don't think further delays are acceptable and some form of inquiry needs to be undertaken. And before I finish, Minister, could you confirm if any preliminary report or investigation has been conducted by you, the HSE or any other relevant state actors? And just one final mention about antigen testing. It's something that I've pursued for the best part of 12 months. Judging from news reports this week, it's finally something that the government is looking to undertake. And again, I think we waited for that Ferguson report for a long time. Now that it finally arrived, I think it needs to be implemented. It needs to be implemented quickly. I understand that there's mentions of pilot programmes in relation to returning to colleges, but this antigen testing is happening in private settings and in public settings all over the country. And I just don't understand why we haven't rolled it out to a greater level as other EU states have done. Nobody in here that I've heard of is arguing that rapid antigen testing is going to replace PCR. Nobody has said that. So I now think it's time, specifically in relation to the return of travel and to return of those industries like hospitality and indoor dining and so on that will follow. I now think it's the appropriate time to finally grab the bull by the horns and implement a proper cohesive rapid antigen testing regime. Thank you.